Welcome to your Gemini horoscopes for the week of the 21st through the 27th of April. It is official. It's the last full week of April. We're into May next month or next week already. Kind of crazy. Um, it's weird actually. It kind of feels like this month it's gone by really fast and yet ridiculously slow at the same time. I can't really explain that at all. But I do feel that you Geminis will understand what I'm saying. For some reason, you guys will understand. No planets in Gemini this week. We do still have a Mercury retrograde until Wednesday. That finally ends. I have to say, I really jinxed it. I did. I went on and on about how it really wasn't that bad last week. And then this week was like, wow. I mean, just one crazy thing after another, and not necessarily just crazy things that I've dealt with, because trust me, I've had a list all week long going on with that, but also just, worldwide. I think Thursday was probably like the worst day of it. There's so many people that I talked to that it had something crazy go on with them. There was a lot of traffic, there was a lot of accidents. It just was really I just was like, this is that time for that Mercury retrograde sweater where you can put over your head and just kind of hide and be a hermit because, it was a little crazy out there. With no planets in Gemini, one thing that I will say that's really exciting for you guys is that Gemini is officially by the end of the week moving into the space where it's in between focuses. No influences, nothing that's specific to focus on. It's just kind of like the weight gets lifted off of your shoulders. And this is actually perfect timing because it's right after the Mercury retrograde ends. The retrograde ends on Wednesday. Pardon me, by Thursday, Friday, you're sort of moving into the space where there is nothing that you're being forced to focus on, which means one of two things. One, it's a wild card, focus on whatever you want, or take a break and don't focus on anything if you don't have to, if that makes sense. Obviously, we want to keep being motivated and we want to keep moving and we want to keep moving forward. That is always the ultimate goal in life, is to continue to move forward. You don't know where that's coming from. I swear I haven't been drinking anything but my coffee today. But that is important. But a big, huge, very important part of moving forward is resting. And for intellectuals, this is so incredibly important because intellectuals have a hard time resting. And it's because they can't rest this thing inside of here, that brain that's constantly going 10,000 miles a minute. Of all the Geminis that I've known, of all the Aquarians that I've known, myself an exception, and there's a few exceptions in Aquarius there too, but in many cases, these people are always doing something. And it's because the brain is always doing something. It's almost like your brain is, when you get the idea, oh my God, I can't just put it away till later because I'm going to forget about it. So you have to get up and do it right then. And then in the middle of that, your brain comes up with something else and you go, oh, let me stop what I'm doing here so I don't forget to do that. And then pretty soon, this is where the Gemini curse comes from. You leave a bunch of unfinished projects behind you. This week is a really good opportunity for you to take some time practicing on giving your brain a rest. And I know it sounds crazy. Every single person I've talked to is like, this is just how my brain is. I've never been able to turn it off, even when I was a kid. Rah, 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 rah. Me too. I'm a fellow intellectual, not a Gemini, but an Aquarius, very similar. And because of that, my brain has been going 1,000 miles a minute since I was a child, also. Not just my brain and ideas and thoughts and knowledge and learning and all of that, but my imagination goes in a bazillion different directions all the time, also, which is probably what led me to being a medium. I'm just saying, but that's not the point. In terms of being a medium, had I not learned to shut this thing down, it would become overwhelming for me to continue to be a medium. And so there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. I started off doing two different things, and you really have to focus. This is the thing. You can't just go, okay, I'm doing it once and trying it and it didn't work, so I'm not going to try that again. No, you have to keep doing it over and over and over again. You're retraining your brain on how you want it to work. And that takes time. It's like dieting or exercising or any of those other things. Good, healthy habits take at least 30 days before they become a habit that you continue to do without thinking about it. So here is my challenge for you Geminis this week is to implement and start a process where you take 5 minutes every day and all you focus on is shutting off your brain. Now, when thoughts come up, and you know how they do, they come up and they go over here and they go over there and they make the whole loop around and come back again. There was two different things that worked for me. One was that I would visualize a light switch and just switch it off. No, I don't want to think about that. Boom. And by visualizing that light switch going off, you're actually stopping your brain from doing that normal thinking thing that it does, because you're now using your brain to focus it on what you want to focus on. So you keep doing that. You keep switching the light switch off. If it comes back on, you go back and you switch it off. 5 minutes a day seems like a really not a lot of time, unless you're trying to accomplish something in that 5 minutes, and then it does sound like a really long time. That is true, but it's really not a lot of time. Take 5 minutes a day, every day, and just relax. Close your eyes. When the thoughts come up, switch that light switch off. The other thing that I've used mostly during meditation, but you can use it for this also, is a trunk or a suitcase or a box or something like that. I visualize in my meditations a trunk, and every time a random thought about don't forget you still got to do the dishes comes into my brain, I grab it and throw it in the trunk and I smack the lid down. Whoosh. Save that for later. Part of the problem with intellectuals is that we feel if we don't jump on something right away, we're going to forget to do it completely, which happens a lot. Okay. I'm not saying it doesn't, because it does. I forget things constantly because I'm going in a million different directions. In fact, I can't even multitask anymore, because if I don't multitask, I make epic mistakes and it's just not worth it. You know what I mean? So this could be a drawback to learning to shut your brain off after a while, is you become not so used to being able to mentally handle multiple things at once. And you know what? Sometimes that's okay. The multitasking thing has its place, but really learning to focus your thoughts in a direction that is beneficial to you in a way that's going to help you move forward is a lot more beneficial than just allowing the thoughts to just keep distracting you. You can be your own distraction, is what I'm saying. And I've been in that situation a lot. I know you guys have been in that situation a lot. It's very frustrating, and it starts to feel like you can never accomplish anything. The truth is that you can. In fact, I know Geminis that have accomplished things, big things, huge things. I know Aquarians who have accomplished big, huge things. They just didn't let their brains get in the way. That's all it comes down to. So that's my challenge for you guys this week. And that is what I have for you guys this week. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Psychic. I will see you in next week. And in the meantime, you guys enjoy the sound of silence. It's a real thing, and once you experience it, you're gonna wanna experience it a whole lot more. Trust me on that. I'll see you guys next week. Make it a great one.